You know, I spent decades being the life of the party. The guy who walked into a room and suddenly everyone's laughing, everyone's engaged, everyone's having the time of their lives. And here's the thing, nobody tells you about being that guy. I'd go home and feel like someone had unplugged my soul and drained it completely. Like a phone at 2% battery, blinking red, begging for solitude. People would say, "But Jim, you're so good with people, you must love it." And I'd smile, because that's what you do, right? But inside, I was counting the minutes until I could leave, until I could peel off the mask and just breathe. For the longest time, I thought something was wrong with me. Here I was, successful, surrounded by people, doing what I supposedly loved, and feeling absolutely exhausted by it all. It's like being hungry at a feast, but nothing on the table actually nourishes you. You're surrounded by abundance, yet you're starving. I'd watch other people at these gatherings, these parties, these events, and they'd be thriving. Getting more animated as the night went on, feeding off the energy, practically glowing with excitement. And there I was, wilting like a flower that someone forgot to water. Wondering what was wrong with my wiring? Here's what I've come to understand, and this is a journey into the depths of what we actually are. We're all moving through this world as different frequencies of energy. Some of us are like radio towers, constantly broadcasting, sending signals out into the world. Others are like receivers, these incredibly sensitive instruments picking up every signal in the room, every frequency, every station, all at once. When you walk into a social gathering and you feel drained, you're not weak, you're not broken, you're not antisocial or damaged or somehow less than. You're just operating on a different frequency. And let me tell you something that took me years to understand. The world needs people on your frequency just as much as it needs the broadcasters. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a sponge. Not just any sponge, but a cosmic sponge that absorbs everything. Energy, emotions, unspoken tensions, the guy in the corner pretending to be happy when he's actually devastated, the woman laughing too loud because she's uncomfortable, the couple that just had a fight in the car on the way here, the entire electromagnetic field of human drama happening in that room. You're soaking all of it up, whether you want to or not, whether you're aware of it or not. Meanwhile, there are people at that same gathering who are like Teflon pans. Nothing sticks. They're generating their own energy, projecting outward, bouncing off surfaces, and they leave feeling more alive because they've discharged all that energy into the world. They've performed. They've connected on their terms. They're feeding off the external stimulus like solar panels in the sun. Neither way is better. They're just different instruments in the cosmic orchestra. The trumpet isn't better than the cello. They just play different notes, serve different purposes in the symphony. But here's where it gets spiritual, where it gets real, where it cuts to the bone. The reason social gatherings drain you is because you're not just meeting people. You're meeting layers upon layers of conditioning, masks, personas, defenses, and performances. And if you're sensitive, if you're aware, if you're one of those people who feels everything, you can sense all of it. You can feel the disconnect between what people are saying and what they're actually feeling. You can sense the performance, the desperate need for validation, the fear hiding behind the laughter, the loneliness masquerading as confidence. It's exhausting because you're not just in a room with people. You're in a room with hundreds of invisible threads, pulling in every direction, each one carrying a frequency, a need, an unspoken story, a hidden wound. And you, my friend, you're feeling all of it. You're holding all of it. You're processing all of it, even when you don't realize you're doing it. I remember being at these Hollywood parties, surrounded by the most successful people in the world, and feeling like I was drowning in shallow water. Not because they were bad people, but because the energy in those rooms was so thick with pretense, with performance, with people trying to be someone they thought they should be. Everyone networking, everyone positioning, everyone playing a role. And I was doing it too. Playing Jim Carrey, the funny guy, the successful actor, the guy who made it, when really I just wanted to sit in silence and stare at a tree, to feel something real. The people who get energized by social gatherings, they're often living more on the surface. And I don't mean that as an insult or a judgment. The surface has its place. It's necessary. They're engaging with the external world, the visible world, the world of doing and achieving and connecting through shared activities. They're dancing on top of the ocean, and the dance is beautiful. They're present with the moment in their own way. But you're diving deep. You're going beneath the surface where all the real stuff lives. The unspoken emotions, the energy that nobody talks about, the truth that everyone's avoiding, the wounds people carry, the love they're afraid to express, the pain they're trying to hide. And diving deep, my friend, diving deep takes exponentially more energy than dancing on the surface. It's the difference between skimming a book and actually reading it, absorbing it, letting it change you. Here's the spiritual truth that saved my life, that brought me back from the edge. You're not meant to be like them. You're not supposed to get energized by shallow interactions and surface-level connections. Your soul is wired for depth, for meaning, for authentic connection. And those things, real authentic connection, they're rare at most social gatherings. They're like finding diamonds in a coal mine. Possible, but you have to dig through a lot of rock to find them. Most social interactions are like fast food. Quick, convenient, fills you up temporarily, gives you a little dopamine hit, but leaves you feeling empty and slightly sick afterward. There's no nutrition in it, no substance. What you need is a home-cooked meal. Deep conversation, real presence, genuine connection, the kind where masks come off and souls actually meet, where you can be silent together and it's not awkward, where you can say what you really think and feel without performing or filtering or worrying about judgment. When you understand this, when you really get it in your bones, in your cells, in the marrow of your being, you stop trying to fix yourself. You stop wondering why you can't be like everyone else who seems to thrive in these situations. You stop reading self-help books about how to be more social, more outgoing, more like the people who seem to have it figured out. You realize you're not built for quantity, you're built for quality. And that's not a flaw, that's your design. It's like this. Some flowers bloom in crowded gardens, feeding off the chaos and the competition and the constant stimulation. Others need solitude, space, silence to fully open. They need the quiet of the forest, not the noise of the marketplace. Neither flower is wrong. They just have different needs, different environments where they can truly flourish. The exhaustion you feel after social gatherings is your soul telling you something important. It's not punishing you. It's not proof that you're failing at life. It's saying, this isn't feeding me. This isn't authentic. This isn't where I find my energy. This isn't home. And that's not a problem to solve. That's wisdom to honor. That's your internal guidance system working perfectly, pointing you toward what's real and away from what's false. I found my real energy, my real aliveness, my real self in the quiet moments, in deep conversations with one person where we both drop the act and just be. In nature, where there's no performance required, no mask to wear, no role to play. In creativity, where I can connect with something beyond the social game, beyond the ego, beyond the character. In meditation, where I can finally stop broadcasting and receiving and just exist. Just be present with what is. The people who get energized by social gatherings, they're externalizing their energy. They're finding themselves in the reflection of others, in the response they get, in the validation and the laughter and the approval. And you're internalizing. You're finding yourself in the depths of your own being, in the silence between thoughts, in the space where your true nature lives. Both are valid paths, but they require completely different approaches to energy management, to life management, to being human. Here's what nobody tells you, what they don't teach you in school. The world is built by and for the externalizers. The loud ones, the social ones, the ones who thrive in groups and networks and constant interaction. So when you don't fit that mold, when you need silence and solitude and depth, you think you're broken. You think you're the problem, but you're not broken. You're just being asked to live in a way that's not natural to your soul. You're being asked to be a fish climbing a tree. Your exhaustion is not a weakness. It's a compass. It's pointing you toward what actually nourishes you, away from the shallow and toward the deep, away from the many and toward the few, away from the performance and toward the authentic, away from what everyone else wants you to be and toward what you actually are. So the next time you're at a social gathering and you feel that familiar drain, that desperate need to escape, that overwhelming urge to be alone, don't judge yourself. Don't think something's wrong with you. Don't force yourself to stay longer to prove you can do it. Just recognize you're a deep-sea diver being asked to enjoy the kiddie pool, and that's okay. Let the others splash around. They're having their experience. You've got oceans to explore. The real question isn't, why do social gatherings drain me? The real question is, what actually fills me up? Where do I find my energy? What feeds my soul? And once you answer that, once you honor that, once you build your life around that truth instead of fighting it, you stop living in exhaustion and start living in alignment. That's where the real energy is. Not in being like everyone else. Not in forcing yourself into molds that don't fit, but in being completely, unapologetically, courageously yourself. In honoring your nature instead of betraying it. In finding your people, your places, your practices that actually nourish you instead of draining you. And when you do that, something magical happens. You stop seeing your sensitivity as a curse and start seeing it as a gift. Because the same trait that makes you exhausted in crowds is the same trait that allows you to experience profound beauty, deep love, authentic connection, and real meaning. You feel everything more intensely. The pain, yes, but also the joy, the beauty, the love, the truth. That's the trade-off. And once you accept it, once you embrace it, you realize you wouldn't have it any other way.